Lana Russel from Westfield, Indiana, and I quilt on a Simply 16 that I've had for less than a month. I have been quilting for 15 years, but I've been sewing since I was 12. So went through all the garment sewing, etc. Started sewing about 15 years ago when I took a year's leave of absence from my job teaching 6th grade to kind of recharge my batteries. And at that time, at the beginning of that year, a friend of mine asked me to join her quilt group, and they quilted every Friday, all day. And that was a great group of mentors to start with, could ask any questions, etc. So I went back to work after that year, quilted when I could. Fast forward 15 years, I have all of these quilt tops that I couldn't bear to send to a long armor because I wanted to finish them myself. Struggled with quilt as you go, all those different methods to try to do what I could with my domestic machine. A girlfriend of mine bought a Sweet 16, so she and I went to Houston for the first time in 2015 and took a class from Helen Godden, the goddess of the Sweet 16. So learned a whole lot there. Handi Quilter introduced the Simply 16 there, and I fell in love. I'm like, this is it. It's smaller, it's more affordable. If we downsize, I know it'll fit in a smaller bedroom. So I thought about it. I came very close to buying it then, but thought about it for a while. And then in December, I pulled the trigger, went ahead and got it. So my dealer said, we might be able to get you set up by Christmas, but I couldn't wait. So the next day, my husband and I went, brought it home, brought up all the videos from Handi Quilter about how to put it together. My husband was waiting in the wings, chomping at the bit to help me, but I never said that I had to do it myself, but I guess he knew. So I put it all together myself, very simple, and I have been quilting on it ever since. The first quilt I did was I just meandered all over, which was so simple when you have the right tools. You try to do that with my domestic and you can't really see where you're going. So it was great to have the handlebars. You didn't even hardly have to grip it. It's so easy to move, it's lightweight. Then I started, this is my second quilt that I used my Simply 16 for. I had this quilt top finished. It's happy fabric. It's for me. It was a great one to start with because I used it as kind of a sampler and I did something different in every square. So I had to do these L's, and I knew right away I was going to do those in the stripes because my maiden name started with an L, and that's what I doodled my whole school life, all those continuous L's. So I did that. On the border is kind of a wonky Greek key that I kind of got inspired from this pattern in the fabric. The shapes in this fabric are very organic, which is another really easier, it kind of set me more at ease instead of having to be so precise. So a lot of the times I use the fabric as my inspiration, quilted the plaid in this, the stripe in this, and then in the solids, I did my own thing. All right, so that's how I was inspired to quilt this quilt, although usually quilt to your desire means to me that I get a lot of motifs from nature. My husband and I like to camp, kayak, we have a swimming pool, like to swim, so a lot of my motifs are normally from nature. And advice I would give someone thinking about a long arm is just do it. I waited too long. I struggled trying to get it in my domestic machine, tried to find ways. You're worth it, just do it. It's so easy. It's so much more fun than trying to put it in your domestic machine. Go for it.